So today we are going to cover the topic, when did British came to India? Basically, what were the reasons for the Britishers to came in India, and we will see trading purpose was the reason, then how the Mughal Empire was declining, then British strong political control, land revenue policies were there, and interference of Britishers in Indian politics, that is intervening in Indian politics, and then Britishers various investment. So these are the reasons that we are going to cover, and we will came to know why did Britishers came to India. So let us start the topic. So reasons for the British to came in India. Around the 18th century, a number of significant events took place in the world. Okay, so at the time, so many things were going on around the world. One such event was the Industrial Revolution. So we have already covered this one topic, Industrial Revolution, right? It gradually spread to other countries of Europe also. So Industrial Revolution, basically the development of industry, right? So it was spreading to the other countries of Europe also. Due to this Industrial Revolution, discovery of new sea and trade routes also began. Also this one also we have covered, discovery of new sea and trade routes, as it was there in one of our topic in our modern history. So if you want, you can check that one also. The video is there. So once a sea route to India was discovered by a Portuguese called Vasco da Gama in 1498. Okay, so now due to Industrial Revolution, what happened? The kings were just financing the team, the people, and they are ready to explore new sea route. So one such person from Portuguese, that is the name Vasco da Gama in 1498, he discovered a sea route to India. As a result, the English, French, Portuguese and Dutch came to India for trade. So now they know the road, they know the sea route, and through that sea route, the English, French, Portuguese and Dutch came to India for what? For trade purpose. Okay, for the business purpose they came to India. Now, the beginning of modern period in Indian history began with the coming of these European powers to India. No, so in Indian history, if we will see the beginning of modern period, then it will just the coming of these European powers to India. So when these European powers came to India, the beginning of modern period has been started in India. Okay. So let us see one by one the reason why the Britishers came to India. So for the first one is the trading purpose, for the trade, for the business purpose. The European and the British traders initially came to India for trading purpose. So what was their first motive? So first of all, their motive was there, so we will go there and do the business, because India was rich in raw materials, so they came here. Since India, they don't have much industry like the Europeans have, so but they were in need of raw materials, and they know that India is rich in raw materials, so they came for trading purpose. Okay. The Industrial Revolution in Britain led to the increase in demand for raw material for the factories there. See, so due to Industrial Revolution, now what happened? Industries are running and the production is going on in a very good manner. But there was an increase in demand for raw material. Okay, so there was shortage of raw material was there, and these Britain, the people were, the European powers were searching for the raw materials. They were searching such areas, such countries, so that they may get the raw materials. At the same time, they also require a market to sell their finished goods. India provided such a platform to Britain to fulfill all their needs. So not only the raw materials, they also want that the finished goods that has been converted into the finished goods, they want to sell that one also. Okay. So for the selling purpose also, they need a market, because already it was just selling purpose was going on in Europe, but they want some other market also, so that they may get a good profit. So for the raw material and for the market also, they came to India, and India was rich in all these things because there was a market also. So Britain, these Britishers came to India. So this is the first reason. Okay, that is for the trading purpose, right? For the trading purpose. Now, what was going in India at that time? Let us see. Declining power of Mughal Empire. So at that time, Mughal rule was there in India, and it was becoming weak. Okay, so during the 18th century, internal power struggle was going on in India as the Mughal Empire was declining. So Mughal Empire was declining. So what happened? Internal struggle was going on, that I am going to become the king or I will snatch this area. Like this, there was a fight was going among the Indian rulers. The Britishers officials were provided with the perfect opportunity to establish their hold over Indian territory. Since the Indians were fighting in just gaining the control over the area, the Britishers see this one. Okay, so they understood that right now this is the perfect time we can establish our hold on Indian territory. Okay. Their administrative and economic policies helped them to consolidate their control over the country. So now the Britishers have made a very strong administrative policies to rule India. Not only this, the economic policies also. So how to do the trade, how to fix the amount, what will be the taxation charge, all these things. So all these things they have just minutely observed and then made for the Indians, and due to this what happened, they easily just consolidate the control over the country, okay, over the India. So this is the second reason. Now the third reason, British strong political control. So British has a very strong political control over India. With the strong political control, the British were able to monopolize the trade with India. Okay, so monopolize means to take control of the supply, and whatever the price of the product or the service will be there, they will be fixed by the Britishers only. Okay, so in this way, they have monopolized the trade with India. They defeated their foreign rivals in trade so that there could be no competition. So not only this, so they also have foreign rivals. These Britishers have foreign rivals, like the Dutch were there, French were there, Portuguese were there, isn't it? They also came for India for this one trade purpose. Now what did these Britishers do? They defeated these foreign rivals so that no one should be there in the trade, in the business purpose, right? So what did they also do? English education was introduced to create a class of educated Indians. So now they want to rule in India. What did they do? They begin to teach the people, some educated Indians, English also, who would assist the British in ruling the country and strengthening their political authority. So now what is the need of this one? Because if Indians are going to be educated in English, now they will assist the Britishers in ruling the country, okay, and strengthening their political authority. So if they can read and write English, then whatever the rules and regulation will be there, whatever the instruction will be there, they will understood and they will just work accordingly. Okay. For this purpose also, to gain a strong political control, they begin to educate the Indians, right? So this is the third point, that is the British strong political control. Okay. They monopolized the trade and they defeated the foreign rivals, and then they introduced the English educations. Okay. Now, after that, what did they do? They just begin to just include some land revenue policies. Okay. So now, what is there in the land revenue policies? That is like the, what will be the land tenure will be there, then how much revenue should be collected, right? And what will be the process of ownership, then what will be the land rights. All these things were now begin to be just that has been just updated. You can say they are just begin to just revenue, the going to just implement these policies in the land. So Britishers' land revenue policies helped them to keep the poor farmers in check and get huge sums as revenue in return. So what did they do? Now due to these new land revenue policies, due to the taxation, what happened? The poor farmers are becoming just they have been just becoming poor only because they have to pay a huge sum as a revenue in return to the Britishers. They forced the commercialization of agriculture with the growing of various cash crop and the raw material for the industries in Britain. Now what did they do? They forced the Indian farmer for the commercialization of agriculture. It means that the production of the crops will be meant only for sale in the market rather than for self-consumption. Okay. So now they begin to do just force the farmers to grow only the various cash crops, because cash crops are planted for the purpose of selling on market and for export, because they give them lot of profit. Okay. And the raw material that is required in the industry in the Britain, they were now forcing the Indian farmer that you are going to plant only these things, not other than this, like this. Okay. So due to this also, land revenue policies, Britishers begin to just came to India and they hold their territory, their power in India. After that, intervening in Indian politics. So Britishers are almost, they have done a lot of things in India. Now they are interfering in the Indian politics also. Okay. So Britishers realized that the entire Indian subcontinent dispersed under provincial kingdom, and hence they started to concentrate all the resources. What happened? Britishers just, they came to know that India is divided under provincial kingdom. So small areas are there, and their rulers and their kings are there. All are different from each other. Their culture is different, their language is different. Okay. So hence they started to concentrate all the resources. So what did they do? They begin to concentrate all the resources of this region. So they want all these things. They did this through numerous wars, forced treaties, annexation of and alliances with the various regional powers all over the country. Now, how did they just take the control of all these resources? They just fight also. They fight with these Indians, with the rulers. Then they just force them with some treaties, some policies, some agreements. Then annexation by alliances, that is alliances and agreement between the groups of a country to work together. Okay. So these types of agreement were there with the various regional powers all over the country. So in this way they interfered in the Indian politics, and then again became successful in ruling India. Okay. Now finally, British has various investment also in India. So for this also they easily just gain their control in India. Various investments were made to improve the transport and communication system in the country to facilitate the easy transport of raw material from the farms to the port and of finished goods from the ports to the market. Since India was not well developed at that time, so what did they do? The Britishers just invested their money in just improving the transport and communication. Now, why transport and communication? Because they have to transfer the raw material, okay, and they have to transfer the raw material from the farms to the port, since they are using the sea route, isn't it? So they have to develop the transport system from the farms to the port, and now when the finished goods are ready, again these finished goods from the ports to the market. So that's why they were very much cunning, and they just improved, first of all they improved the transport and communication system in India. So it was their investment, right? Secondly, they monopolized the sale of all kind of raw material and bought this at low prices, whereas Indian weavers had to buy them at exorbitant price. Now what did they do? They just monopolized the sale. Okay, they just take control of the supply and the price of the product, and bought this at low prices. So whatever the raw material will be there, they will purchase in a very low price, and whereas the Indian weavers have to buy them at exorbitant price. Now they will take control of this, all these things, and if Indian weavers are in need of that one, then they will sell this Indian at a very high price. The product are of Indians only. Now they have becoming the just the traders of that one, right? So they monopolize the sale. Heavy duties were imposed on Indian goods entering British so as to protect their own industries. Now, not only this, what did they do? They just imposed heavy tax that were on Indian goods entering Britain. So whatever the things that are coming from outside from this one, so as to protect their own industry, they just begin to imply a lot of tax on them. Okay. So see here, in this way the Britishers just this became the reasons for the British to came to India. First of all, they were here for the trading purpose, right? Then they understood that the Mughal Empire, that there's a declining power of the Mughal Empire, now we can hold our just territory here. Then what did they do? They just make some administrative and economic and just strong political control here. After that, they begin to implement some land revenue policies so that they can utilize the land also, not only this. So whatever the production and selling will be there, they can get the tax from here, okay? Then after that, what did they do? They just interfere in the Indian politics and implement forced treaties and then annex them, and they had just implied some alliances with this, okay? And lastly, their investment were there, since they want to just improve India also, they want to do a smooth business, they just invested and then impose some heavy duties, okay? So these were the reasons why and when did Britishers came to India. So okay, so this is our topic that we have just now completed. I hope this topic has been clear to you. So let us meet with another video.